right, welcome to week 5. This week we've got a few things due, but hopefully you've turned in the command line paper and the watch and review video paper in week 4. So we'll go over here the lessons here into week 5, and we've got the lab manage users. That's the one that's really due, and then you're researching the manage users. Uh, so so you're going to research it and then do the lab, and I guess that really should be that should actually not be here. Okay, so we're going to need to move that off to week 6. So let's see here. Oops. Yeah, because you need to research it first. So let's see here. I'll go ahead and move this to week 6. Let's see how that works. Okay, so this week you just need to research the command line commands and flags and options that allow you to create, delete, modify local users and groups on both Windows and Linux. You'll write up a summary of your research in a Word document, and the paper needs to be at least 2 pages in length, and it has to have clear sections, one for Windows and one for Linux. So basically what I'm looking for is you're going to be creating a lab. You're going to be creating 2 scripts, one for Windows and one for Linux, creating some local users, some local groups, and then putting the users in the groups. And you need to do all that from a script, like a command line. So what it is if you do CMD, you go to a command prompt on Windows. Linux, you just go to the terminal. But that's why you need to have your Linux machines built in the lab so that you can do that, and you can use the Windows and the Linux machine. But so like with Windows, net users, I'll give you a little bit of hint. So net user is one of the commands that you can use, and if you do net user /?, right, you get the various options for adding and deleting a user. So what a script would be like is if you just opened up Notepad and you just typed out net user, and so we're going to add Bob, and his password is going to be password, and then we're going to add, right? And then you would have a line that would add the group and add Bob to the group, and so then you would save this as a bat file. So we'll just call it bob.bat, and I'm going to put this in the desktop. All right, so first off, I'm going to show you and make sure that I don't have a user named Bob. So I'm going to go to properties. Oops, sorry. I'm going to go to manage. Go to manage. And local users and groups and users. And so there's no Bob. All right. So what I need to do now is I'm just going to show my desktop here if I can. Okay, there we go. Show my desktop. I'm going to need a different command though. I need to right click on it and go and run as administrator because it needs admin access, and you have to say yes, okay. So now I need a CD users. What is this? CD space, CD desktop. Okay, so then now if I run Bob, the command completed successfully. And so if I go and look at our users and I refresh, I've got Bob. So that's all the script is, it's just the whatever command you would run in the command line, this net user Bob password add. That's all I have here in my notepad, and I saved it as a .bat. For Linux, you'll save it as a .sh, but and then you can run your file and do it, and that's what you're going to be doing next week. But this week you're just researching how do you create users, how do you create local groups, and how do you add the users to the local group from the command line for both Windows and Linux, and you're going to write a paper on that. So that is the big assignment for this week. You've got the 2 chapters, of course, the discussion boards for chapters 13 and chapter 15. But in this week, we're researching how to manage users on a system. Let me go here. Let me just make sure week 6 doesn't look crazy now. Let's see here, week 6. Week 6, right? So that looks like it's okay. We'll go in there. And week 6, assignments. So we got the exam coming up. So we'll research manage files that week, but and you'll do the manage users. And this lab will get moved to week 7. All right. So next week you'll do managing files, and then actually do the lab where you'll create 3 users, set the passwords, and their passwords will be password @ 0, 1. You're going to create the 3 users, Bob, Carol, and Lisa, both on Windows and Linux. Create 2 groups, group 1, group 2. Add all users to both groups. So you're going to have the commands in your script to add all 3 users to both groups. Then your script will remove Carol from group 1, and then your script will delete Lisa. You'll delete her, that account. So that's next week. So just giving you a heads up on what the lab will be for next week. This week is just research, just to research the managing users. So, and then we'll have our exam next week, chapters 8, 9, 13, and 15. So that's coming up. So make sure you're taking the quizzes and practicing them multiple times, over and over. It's the best way to study for the exam. And if that's all I had this evening, are there any questions? All right, there appears to be no questions. I'm going to call it an evening, and wish you all luck. Just feel free to post on the Ask Me bulletin board, or send me an email if you have any questions, or hit me up on Google Hangouts. I'm available. So I will see you later. Have a good week.